outs for this week. We've got a shout out for Mathman. So he's been commenting for a while since we even started this whole YouTube channel. So I really appreciate it. It really helps commenting and pressing the like button. It really helps with the algorithm. So if you want a shout out, if you just comment on the live chat on a Sunday evening at 8 and comment on the actual video. So you need to do both and obviously be a subscriber. So if we see your name cropping up over a few weeks, we'll give you a shout out. Hey, it's James from Finney Electrical. On today's video, we're doing a first fix electrics on the kitchen. So we just got into the job, kind of walked through what's going in with the customer, marked a few things out, and this is what we're dealing with. Salt kitchen's been ripped out, it's all ready for the cabling to get installed. So it's a bit of an interesting one, there's cables hanging out everywhere. I don't know. So there we go, this is what the kitchen's going to end up looking like. So that's that little recessed alcovey bit where the sink is. That's where that boiler is. That's that side wall with the fridge and that. So there's quite a few appliances to power up, like the single oven, induction hob, little plinth heater, extractor fan, what else we got? Dishwasher, and there's a washer dryer under here. So there's quite a lot going in. And as far as lighting, they're going to keep the main lighting in there. So they've got 3 LED spots shining down. And then if you look here, they're going to put some LED strip in here, LED strip along here. Let's have a look. And then LED strip under this cabinet here. There we go, the light switch for the room is going to bob in here. So you'll have one switch which will do your outside light, one switch will do your main lights, which is currently here. So they're staying as is. And then another switch will do the under cabinet lights around here. As far as above worktop sockets, we've got a socket going in. Let's have a look. So the fridge is here, if you remember from the plan. So we've got a socket here, and you've got your hob, extractor, socket here, socket this side, and then socket here. So we're going to power up his appliances in 3 locations. So in the back of this cupboard here, he's going to power up the washer dryer. In the back of this cupboard here, there's going to be a socket which will power up the dishwasher. And then in the back of this one, this is going to be your main one. So this is going to, a 6mm supply is going to go into the back of here like a big red switch, and that'll do your induction hob. You have a double socket for your extractor fan and your fridge freezer, and a double socket for your single oven and plinth heater. So the plinth heater, you just power it up, and then there's like little switches on the floor, so you just kind of give it a little kick and it turns on. So when installing any circuit, you need to check for 3 things. So what I do is ask the customer for 3 pictures. We ask for a picture of the fuse box, of the switches, so we can check if it's got something called RCD protection, which stops people getting electrocuted. Then we ask for a picture of the gas meter and the water stop tap. So what we're looking for is a 10mm green yellow cable attached onto the pipe, like should be within 600mm of the meter, the gas meter or the water stop tap. So if we're just bobbing this cupboard, here's the fuse box. So it's just been done. There we go, last year. And already it's got its RCD protection, so that's good. So that little device here is called an RCD, and these circuits run through that, and this is an RCD and these circuits run through that. So it basically measures the current going out and coming back. If there's any imbalance, you'll basically trip out, i.e. someone touching it, get electric shock, it's not coming back, it's going, well, it's electrocuting the person, so it's going to trip out and save their life. So we just had a look, water stop taps here, nicely hanging out of plaster work, so we'll have to try and get a cable to here and just get them clamped on. They'll have to do some sort of boxing section around that so you don't see that afterwards. So we've got to get a cable chopped into here for that. And the gas meter doesn't have the earth bonding either, so we'll have to get a cable from over yon. We'll have to send him up the cupboard, kind of come through the landing, pull the carpet up, drill through into this little section here, if you can see this. Like a little void section, so we're going to drill through into that, and we'll bring one cable to here and then the other cable down to here. That's everything that's going to go in, so we'll explain how we're going to wire up for the appliances and the sockets. So here's the kitchen. Currently there should be cables coming in and out, so the way the sockets are wired, usually it comes from the fuse box to every socket and then back, so you end up with like a ring. So what we're going to do is check it is a ring. If it is a ring, then we'll split it. I'm going to send one cable into the back of here to pick up one socket, 2 socket, and then on its merry way pick up this socket, that socket, and then we'll pick up the above worktop sockets then. So the cable will come up here, up there, up there, up there, and then it'll attach back into the ring. So essentially you've split the ring, so you broke the ring, you basically send it around to new appliances on new points, and then back into the ring, so it creates a bigger ring. So that's his laser set, so that pings a perfect laser level around the room. So what we'll do, we'll get these chopped out, a box worth, and then what we'll do is when we fix these boxes, we'll just make sure that this goes directly through the eyelet of the socket. That's the sockets chased out. So you can see it's a bit knackered, this one, it's a bit crumbly. The brick's mega hard, so it's just coming off in big kind of lumps. So we're going to have to somehow get a fixing on this brick. So using this little penny washer method, we should easily do that. So this brick will be a bit softer, so we can get it a little bit neater. But that's all ready for the boxes to go in, and all the cables will do is just clip down to the floor and then run around the bottoms. So then let's get the boxes fixed. So to set these boxes up, what we do is we just knock these 20mm knockouts at the back or 4. We just kind of give it a little wiggle like this, and these pop out. There's going to be 2 cable entries, so what we do is just knock out the 2 bottoms here. Yeah, don't worry, this thing's getting replaced. It's getting chucked out in a few days. That's that. Get your little 2 grommets, bob them in there. And then what we do, we just offer this up, get the laser level, make sure it goes through the middle of this eyelet. Middle of that eyelet, then we know it's perfectly level, all of them to be the same level. And then what we do is just drill a little 5-5 hole, get this pushed through the wall, and then what you'll find is that there's loads of space that you can get your box perfectly level. So here we go, that's his box here, grab it. That's his box, just going to line it up with the laser, so it goes through there, it goes through there. I'm just going to get a fix in. Yeah, so what we've done, so we've gone 200mm to the edge, or 20cm. And then, if you notice, as we tighten, the box warped a bit. So what you want to make sure is, if it does warp, that these are still level. We'll get a second fixing in now. So if you look now, that's nice and tight, that's not going anywhere. The box has kind of warped and done its thing, and we can get it perfectly level afterwards. So that's a perfect setup. So we'll just get the rest of these fixed now. There we go, we've got 2 done, so that's the next one. So this next one's a good example of why you level to the lugs. So if you look at it, the box looks wonky as out. If you look there, it perfectly goes through the lug level. You just lift that up slightly, this adjustable lug. So it perfectly goes through, but the box is wonky as out, so if you level to the box, this socket will be wonky as out. So obviously it's the screw holes that attaches the socket to the wall, so it's that what determines the socket's levelness. Right, that's the last one in, all nice and level. So just look at this socket here, we have noticed there's just one cable coming in, so it can't be a ring. And it comes into here, Got spares off to there, spares off elsewhere, here, here, so it's a bit of a mess, the electrics in here. So what we're going to have to do, we might bring in 2 legs from the fuse board. So what we'd have to do is basically come from the fuse box, up the cupboard, along the landing, and then we could bring it down this 6-inch zone. So we'll probably end up doing that. So bring it down here, and then we can basically bring one of the legs to here, feed this socket, come out twice for 2 sockets, back, up to this socket, this socket, this socket, out again for that one, under here, out again for that one, then all the way back to the fuse board. So I think that's the plan. See, I don't really want to be extending onto something that I don't know where it comes from. If it was a ring, then I'd know there was one end going one way back to the fuse board and one way going to the other. So I know it'd be kind of safe to tag onto. Because there's just one cable here, I'm a bit unsure, I'm a bit iffy about using it, so I'd rather just run a new, and then you know everything's going to be perfect and fine. Right, so I just pulled in some new 2.5s, so a new ring for the kitchen, so that just runs up along the upstairs kind of corridor, comes down through this cupboard, underneath the floor, and then I've just popped it into the fuse box here. We've also added in the earth bonding, that's for the gas, so we're just looped in. Sent him over, and it just comes down here. It's still got to get clipped yet, and that's the one for the water. So this needs to land within 600mm before it tees off. It tees off here, so it needs to land here. So they'll probably put some boxing section here just so they can hide all this. So I think next what we'll do, we'll give it a tidy down here. So we'll sweep the port rubble, get him in, skip outside, and then we'll start wiring from his ring into his new point. There we go, nice and tidy. So it's time to get some cables in. Let's go. Right, that's everything in and tidy. So we've got a 6mm down here for his hob. So that'll be like an induction knob, so that's for that. So there'll be like an isolating backup cupboard for that. We've got 2 legs here for 2 sockets. So I'll get pulled into the back of the cupboard. That one there is going to be extractor fan. So again, we'll put a plug top on that, and that just sticks out. So we'll just connect that to the flex on the extractor fan, and that'll work. What else we've got? Socket, 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 and socket. And then we've got a socket down here, which will come into the back of the cupboard. Socket down here, and the boiler controls in the back of there. And that's it for power. So as far as the lighting, what we've done, we've brought that out for the right hand side of the extractor, so we'll have a bit of under cabinet light there, and then we brought out that cable here, and then there'll be under cabinet lights all the way around here up to this side. So that's it for lighting. So we brought it all down to this switch here, so we've temporarily just lashed it up like this so you can't get your fingers in. They want light, and it's one way around, isn't it? So what comes down to here, we've got the outside light coming to here, so that'll be one switch. We've got the under cabinets on 2, and we've got the main lights on 3, which is that cable there. So that's all the lighting done. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks just to get this all second fix once the kitchen's kind of plonked on top of our cables. So we'll be back then just to get everything powered up, all the appliances powered up, and the lighting all neat and sweet. So if you like this kind of content, just hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you know when we next upload. As always, have a good one from me, and I'll see you on the next one.